Hello, we've got a Weep Mini Bong. I'm Engineer Hoist, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Yolopark Transformers Rise of the Beasts AMK Series Optimus Primal Model Kit. Here on the front of the box, we've got some great images of Optimus Primal here. And on the back, we've got some product shots and a look at how the model kit is going to go together. Special thanks to Yolopark for sending this to me for review, so let's head on over and get this guy put together. Okay, so now as we open this box, I've already gone and done a little bit of the dirty work, like cutting the tape and the plastic straps that hold the top to the bottom of the package. We will see that there is a set of instructions. It's pretty simple. It just shows you all the directions of how it goes together, but it's also laid out smartly in this tray, pretty much in order of the way it goes together. You know, starting with the head, the arms are on the proper sides, the legs are on the proper sides, and there's also the back of the box, which is a pretty good reference. So it's very well put together. And the one thing of note with the Optimus Primal kit is he does come with his swords, and he does come with an alternate face we'll look at in a second. Optimus Primal comes with two options for the head, or really the face. The part that comes installed in the box is this one with the full face plate. And you also have the option with the mouth open to homage his more traditional Beast Wars look. Now, to swap this out, it helps if you have a spudger or some other tool. Maybe if you have fingernails, which I don't, it might work out, but you just want to take off the top of the head by inserting in here and prying this off. Just take your time with it. I got that off pretty easy because I've swapped this out a couple of times. The first time it was quite a bit more challenging. And once you get there, you just pull the face out. It does have separate eyes, and these do tend to fall away in on my copy. Although on the alternate face, they stay in pretty well. A little dab of glue should help with that. So then you just install the other face and put the top of his head back on, press that down nicely, and there we go. We've got the alternate face installed, and this is the one I'm going to go with because I kind of like this look. One thing I would have liked is maybe if the lips were a little bit different color, but I might add a little bit of paint later. Talking about options, he also has options for his hands. Probably what most people will be using are these, which are the weapon holding hands. Since he does have his swords, I would imagine most people are going to be having these installed. I certainly will. For his left hand, he also has a grabby hand. And he's got a grabby hand for his right hand, so he can go grab bananas or whatever. And but also for the right hand, there is a closed fist and also a pointer hand. And so we've got four options for the right and two for the left. Like I said, I will be going with the weapon holding hands so that he can be holding his sword. It doesn't really matter which order that you put this together in, but the instructions do start you off at the top with the head. Now I will say the attaching the head to this peg here on the torso, since they both move, it can be a little challenging to get it on. So you might have to just pull that out a little bit to get it together. And then we just attach the torso. Now one thing you want to look out for is there is a little flap here on that top piece. Just flip that out and get it out of the way. And press the two pieces together. Most of these steps you will find, if it's not a ball joint, it's going to be a peg joint, and many of them are going to have like a little, like a soft snap where you kind of know where it's completely in. You can disassemble these kits if you need to later on. For example, if you wanted to store them away back in the original packaging, or if you wanted to add some paint and customize. But everything goes together pretty well. Now it is a little bit easier to go ahead and assemble the legs before you put them onto the body. There are a couple of armor pieces that go onto the legs before you install them. And it is a little bit easier for this to kind of bend the knee and flip up the kneecap to help make some clearance for these armor pieces. And one last little piece, there is a little butt flap, really just to kind of close that off. Instructions show to put that on a little bit earlier in the process. I find it's better to put that on after the legs have been installed. And so there we go. We can adjust the camera a little bit because he's a big boy. So there we go. Does also come with these two really nice swords. He can hold them each individually, but they do also tab together. You just turn them opposite ways, and it can be a double-sided sword. So obviously you could just throw the sword into the fist like that. If you wanted to have him hold it double-sided, there is room to push it all the way through, and then you can make the attachment to the other sword and then kind of slide it back to the middle. So there he is with his sword and fully assembled. Okay, so for articulation for this guy, you've got pretty much any articulation that you could possibly want out of an action figure. Obviously, he's got the head motion. It's not just on a ball joint, but it's also got a couple of other swivel joints that you can move that in many different directions, even with this huge collar that he has. The torso, you can tilt it one side or another, even forward and back a little bit. It bends at the waist, and you've got a little bit of a butterfly joint on his arms. You can rotate them all the way around. You've got the bicep swivel. I mean, you can see all of this articulation. I mean, he's even got a shoulder shrug. You can see a lot of this articulation as he comes assembled. Got a really nice deep elbow joint, and the hands are on ball pegs, so you can rotate them however you want within the limits of that joint. And the fingers do not articulate, but you do have hand options, as we've already covered. So for the hips, you can, it's got an interesting little mechanism. It's got the hip joint, but it's also got an extra little joint in there too. So if you were to just rotate at this normal joint where you install it, it doesn't give you much, but it does kind of rotate down a little bit, so you can get a pretty good high forward kick. And the back kick, you don't get a whole lot, but if you were to remove this back piece, you could probably get him a little bit farther back. One of the nice things about model kits that you can disassemble. As far as going out, you can go basically all the way this full splits. The knee bend is a pretty good little knee bend, and the foot can rock. It can even move up and down a little bit, and he does have these little side toes here that can move up and down. If you move them too much, they might pop out, but they're just pegged in, so you could always just put them back in. And so naturally you can get this guy in some pretty decent poses. I kind of wish I was a better poser of my figures. But I really think you guys could probably come up with some really awesome poses. So this is generally how I like to pose my Optimus Primal. It kind of shows off his blades without taking up a whole lot of space on the shelf. So there you go. I think it looks wonderful. And now for comparisons. Here is the AMK series Optimus Primal with the Takara Tomy Masterpiece Optimus Primal. And for comparison with more of a mainline figure, here he is with the Kingdom Optimus Primal from Hasbro. And of course it makes sense to compare him to his line mates, the AMK series Bumblebee and the AMK series Optimus Prime. That's a great looking set. Once again, I want to say thank you to Yolopark for sending me this figure for review. The Optimus Primal AMK series model kit from Transformers Rise of the Beast is just fantastic. It looks amazing. The build is nice and easy, especially if you're not super into model kits. He's got fantastic posing, and is just going to look really great on the shelf. And as of the time of this recording, this is the best Optimus Primal, Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal figure that's out on the market. You can, if you want to get one of your own, head over to the Yolopark store. There is a link in this description. You can use my code EngineerHoist to get 5% off of your order. So that's going to do it. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends, and we'll see you next time.